You will be thrilled with what you're going to learn about today. If you love art, this is your day. I'm Eric Rhoads, and my guest today is Qiang Huang. And Qiang, welcome.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, man, we're excited about this. So we've been at this now 172 days in a row, nonstop. And I really appreciate you coming on. It makes my job so much easier.
Well, thank you. I'll be happy to.
Yeah. So, Qiang, what are you going to talk about today?
Well, today I'm going to talk about color mixing. You know, you can see behind me, that is the painting I'm working on. It is relatively large painting, 36 by 36. And then I'm working on the color stage now, so it's good time. So I could talk about how, what kind of strategy I usually use to deal with a large painting like this and then mix the color. So I basically I'm going to using the app to help me to identify the colors. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And
excellent.
yeah. So that's basically I plan to do.
Okay, good. Well, we're excited about that. And a lot of people have not seen this app yet, which is phenomenal. So we'll get a chance to see that in action. Okay, well, we'll be right back.
Okay.
Well, that is Qiang Huang, and he's currently in Austin, Texas, and I'm coming to you live from the Adirondack Mountains of upstate New York. And it's a chilly day, not cold, just chilly. Little jacket on, and already went for a boat ride this morning and did a lot of stuff, put a fire in the fireplace. It's been a really terrific day. I know it's probably hot where you are, and it's hard to even imagine it being cool, but I know if you're in Colorado, maybe you've got some snow. And those of you watching from India, Shubha, Raji, welcome. It's nice to see you guys today. The Hague is watching. Gerda, thank you. Gerda, I don't know if you were watching before when I thanked you for the beautiful face masks, but they're wonderful. Thank you for those. So every day for 172 days now in a row, we have been live. And the goal here is to keep your head in the game, as I like to say. And what that means is, you know, there's a lot going on in the world, and it is a very unusual time in our history. It's unusual because of all these things going on. It's unusual that a lot of us are in lockdown or partial lockdown. And as a result, I want you to keep your head positive. And so I want to be there for you. I've got my entire team engaged to do this for you every day. Every day, we're here at 12 noon on this broadcast, and that involves a number of people. And there are people scheduling people. There are people doing graphics. There are people getting everything ready online. There are people scheduling videos, etc. And we do every day at 12 noon, and then every day at 3 p.m. we're doing a video for you. I'm having live guests who are oftentimes talking or painting, or we're doing marketing or something else at noon. And then every day at 3 o'clock, we're doing free samples of art instruction videos that we have produced. We have well over 400 of them. And we have been sharing those with you for the last 172 days in a row. We've had people who have told us they've learned painting from scratch. We've had people who told us they picked up painting because they hadn't done it. And we've heard so many different stories. If you're watching this, put your story in the comments. We'd love to hear your story because we want to make sure that this is meaningful to you. And if you have ideas on how we can make it more meaningful, we don't know if this will continue after coronavirus or not, you know, so we'll see one day at a time. But anyway, I'm glad to do it for you while we're here. Now, the way to see these videos is to watch them on YouTube or on Facebook. And today's video is going to be Francesco Fontana from Italy. And Francesco is going to come on and teach you watercolor the Italian way, all right? So you go to YouTube or Facebook and you search the word Streamline Art Video, and that'll take you to the channel on YouTube, and then you want to hit subscribe. And if you're watching this, even if you don't use YouTube, do that one time and hit subscribe. It helps us to have bigger numbers, and of course, we hit a certain number, then we get a plaque, which would be kind of cool. Anyway, so Francesco will be on today at 3 p.m. Now, yesterday I announced that I'm giving away a digital subscription to PleinAir magazine, and the winner is Fadwa Attyah from Canada. I don't know where in Canada, but congrats and thumbs ups to Fadwa Attyah. And we're glad that you're watching, Fadwa, and you will get a 1-year digital subscription to PleinAir magazine. You should know that the PleinAir magazine digital subscription is, it has 20% more content than the print edition. And that means, I'm kind of looking for a picture of it here, but I'm not finding it. Anyway, oh, here we go. Nope, that's not it either. Anyway, it is, the digital has, because print, we have limitations on page counts. We always put more content in the print edition for those of you who subscribe to print, or those of you who subscribe to digital only. Some people subscribe to both. And of course, you can't get this in the newsstand. Now, PleinAir is the #1 selling magazine in America at Barnes & Noble, at the newsstand. See, really only a national newsstand publication business left anymore. And we outsell all art magazines and all photography magazines. So we're pretty proud of that. And you should get a subscription. That way it's coming to you automatically. So just go to pleinairmagazine.com to get your subscription. And congrats again to our winner today. Now, I should also mention, while I'm talking about the magazine, that we're pretty happy that we now are in Michael's stores. Michael's traditionally does not carry art magazines. They carry other magazines. And we have been blessed with presence in 278 stores nationwide. I don't know about Canada. But if you have not got it, go in there. We'd love the support. You know, it'll make them want to continue to do that. And that's good for PleinAir. It's good for all of us. And so continue to do that if you would. I should mention that coming up very soon, we have an instructional video from the great Russian master Nikolai Blokhin. This is a monumental thing because this just doesn't happen. The Blokhin was the head of drawing at the world famous Repin Institute, which is considered one of the finest art schools in the world. And you don't get to be instructor at that school unless you're major high level. And so he's no longer doing that. He's out on his own, and his paintings are selling for $600,000, $700,000, $800,000. And so we were able to go to Russia in March and document the entire process. You're going to love it. He does this portrait, which is a giant portrait. So you'll want to watch for that. It's coming out here in a few, I think a few weeks, so it won't be long. I should also mention to you that those of you who are watercolorists, I've had some people who have asked, you know, on your live events like PleinAir Live and Realism Live, why we didn't do more watercolor. And it's simply because at our in-person events, we've been able to have extra stages and be able to do both. We weren't able to do that easily on a live event, but we are coming out with Watercolor Live, and we're going to announce this coming week. We're going to announce some of the faculty members. We've already announced that Joe Zabukvich will be there and Thomas Schaller, but we've got many more. And that's coming up in January. And of course, those of you who attend the other things will want to attend this because you're going to have the first time we've gathered all the great watercolor masters together. And so we don't have any information on the website now. You can go there and put your name in to be notified, but that'll be up there any day now. It might be up there today. I'm not sure. You can check watercolorlive.com. Also, coming up at the end of this month, you've still got a little time. Actually, that's an old slide. It's now up to 30,000. But the PleinAir Salon Art Competition, now we're giving away $30,000 in the 10th annual salon. You can win the cover of PleinAir magazine like Tom Hughes did here. And also there's lots of other prizes, including monthly prizes. So you want to make sure you get entered. Now, today I wrote about my experience with 9/11 and how lucky I was. I was scheduled to be in the World Trade Center on 9/11, and only because of a phone call did that all change. You can read about that this morning's Sunday Coffee at coffeewitheric.com. It's a blog I do. It's about 250,000 people reading it right now, and I'd love for you to get it. You can get it for free. So make sure you check that out. Now, I will also tell you, there's so much going on. First off, we have the PleinAir convention coming up May 23rd through 27th. It'll be in Denver, Colorado, and we are very excited about that. And so we were originally scheduled for Denver and then had to cancel and move, and then now we're scheduled again. So That's coming up. We also are going to the White Mountains to paint the colored leaves, and that's coming up in October. It's the only live event we're able to do all year, and we're, of course, being very careful about it. Safety first, right? And so we will be in the White Mountains October 12th through 19th. A lot of people are coming. I think there's, 70, 80, 90, I'm not sure exactly, but I know that we have about 12 seats left, or we did. And so if you can come, and especially if, you can drive, it's easy, just go ahead and register. You'll be able to paint with some other people. It's going to be a lot of fun. fallcolorweek.com. And then last but certainly not least, we have an event coming up, which is a major monumental worldwide event where we have the World Gathering for an historic gathering of realism artists and training and teaching 5 days. It shows 4 days on this slide because there's a beginner's day on the 20th, and that teaches you all the basics. But this conference is essentially teaching you a lot of different disciplines. Portrait, yes. Figure, yes. Drawing, yes. Painting, yes. And of course, still life and landscape and flowers and plein air and many, many other disciplines as well. So we've got some really amazing people. We've just added for the basics day, ERIN MEADS, who was recommended to us by Sherry McGraw, who is really an excellent teacher at beginning drawing. And so she's going to be on beginner day teaching beginning drawing, which is really important. Drawing is the foundation of the house, right? So you want drawing. But we have then the rest of the faculty, Jesus Emmanuel Villarreal, Cornelia Hearns, Todd Casey, Stephen Bauman, Jean Stern, Mark D'Alessio, we had him on the other day, Tony Sirenai, William A. Schneider, Kathy Anderson, Jeff Legg, Connor Walton, Kathy Odom, Daniel Graves, the founder of the Florence Academy, Victoria Herrera, Dan Gerhardt, Dan Sprick, Rose Franson, Juliet Aristides, Graydon Parrish, and Joshua Larock. You don't want to miss this. It's called Realism Live, and you can still get $200 off. The price is going up on the 30th, or right after the 30th of September. So make sure you get registered. It's we got people from 30 or 40 countries registered already. We have well over 1,200 that are registered, and we think it's going to get a lot bigger. People tend to wait to the last minute. Don't wait, because you want to make sure you got a ticket. So that's coming up, and you don't want to miss it. Our guest today, Qiang Huang, was on our PleinAir Live, and if you read the comments on PleinAir Live, the people just told us they had a great time and they loved it, and they felt like it was a fire hose into a teacup because there was so much information. Anyway, we have now a guest today, Qiang Huang, and Qiang is in Austin, Texas. He's going to talk to us about color today. That's his hand waving, and he's going to show us an app that he developed. Now, Qiang is a brilliant artist, but he's also developed, he's a technology guy, and he and some colleagues of his developed a really interesting color app, and he's going to tell you about that, and I'm going to show some things. Qiang, you just tell me when you want them, and I'll pull them up.
Okay. Can you hear me okay? Okay. Now, so I'm going to talk about color mixing today. So you probably will now see my face, and because I moved the camera, so you'll be able to see my palette and be able to see the painting. And this computer I use as my photo reference with the app. So many people painting from photos. Okay, today I'm going to consider a beginner painter. Okay, so even you don't have the lots of experience mixing colors or very sophisticated doing this kind of painting, but the technique you can directly apply to your beginner's level. Okay, so let's talk about the app. The name of this app is called Painter's Guide app. Okay, so let's give a little introduction about this app. Thank you, Eric, showing this image. So you see there on the app, there's a major area. You'll see the image of your reference photo. So above the reference photo, there's all kind of functions. You can change the photo, you can manipulate the photo. And on the right-hand side, you see a color wheel, you'll see a value bar. So also you'll see two color swatches. So I'm going to demonstrate the color part during the painting part. Let's first talk about the functions on the image. See, during the PleinAir live demonstration, I introduced the other app similar called the color picker that only has the color part. Since then, I got lots of comments. They want introduce me to give some more information. So I start to building more functions into the app that call that painter's guide. Okay, so if you so now I have this. There's so first let me load my reference image first. So I'll go to load image. Okay, then I will pick up the one that you already have. Okay, so this one. So can you, okay, now we have the image loaded. So you can change the size of the image. So there's a button on here. Okay, so I can click on that. You can get the image larger than you want. Okay, so like that. Okay, and so the important thing I added on is I put 3 filters on the image. So Eric, would you show the filter, the second image on the screen?
Oh, I've got to show you. Hang on a second.
Okay.
All right, this is it, right?
Okay, yeah. So you can see the 3 images, which is the left one is my original photograph, and the second one, I put a filter on it. See, when everybody in painting for a while, though it is very important to squint. You know, there's so many details on the image or on the scene if you do PleinAir. So how do you simplify? So you need to squint. Okay, so what I'm doing, I introduce this filter. This name of the filter is called Oilify. It's basically kind of look like already an oil painting, but they already filter out all the details. So this way, you don't get bothered by seeing so many details. You concentrate on major shapes. So then on the right-hand side is the black and white image. So if you have a hard time to seeing value, so this way will help you to do that. Okay, now I'm going to show you, I'm going to filter my image here. So I will go to this button. So you'll see a little window open. So I will click Oilify. So that will start to work. This is now again Oilify. So also you can zoom into the image. There's a button. It's here, so you can zoom in.
I should just tell you, Qiang, that when you're not facing the camera, the audio is not as good.
Audio is a little, okay, so I will try to do that. Okay, can you hear me okay now?
Yep.
Okay, see now I can zoom into the image, you know, you can get to the detail part. So then also you can move the image to the location you want. Okay, I'm going to do the boat here. So I'm going to move to the area I want. Please see that boat. Okay. So I can even zoom in a little more. Okay, so now I got the image already filtered. Maybe it's a little small for you, but yeah. I don't see the detail part of it. So then I can use this as my reference. So I start to paint. Okay, so now during the painting part, I'm going to talk about how to use all of these functions. So first thing, let's talk about this color wheel. Oh, by the way, before I really start, I want to give credit to the people who developed this app. I'm sort of technical, but I'm not really a computer scientific person. So happened to be I am pretty lucky. I have quite a few engineer friends, and the engineers who developed this app are actually two very wonderful engineers. They are friend of mine. Their name, the first one is called Guo Liang Gu. The second one is called Dan Min Fu. Okay, so two peoples. They're husband and wife couple. They're working for a computer graphics company, and then and also Dan Min is an artist, and he's learning how to paint. So we start to talk about doing something for the art community. So then they said, well, maybe we can discuss that. So I gave some ideas. What I want, then Guo Liang and Dan Ming start writing codes. And so far at this moment, this app is working on my website. If you get on my website and then you go to apps page, then you will see the app called a Painter's Guide. You click on that, you will see the screen, what I have. Okay, so we have this color wheel, so I arrange my palette in the same way.
Spectrally.
So, yeah, pretty much so. So first thing, you from here is yellow, like it. You don't have to be exactly like my. I got lots of colors here. Basically, what I just very quickly go through that. So the warmer part is like cat yellow lemon, cat yellow deep, cat orange, cat red light, quinacridone red or quinacridone rose, then manganese violet, ultramarine blue, cobalt blue, phthalo blue. This is a manganese blue hue, cobalt teal. This one is a viridian, sap green, and a little bit olive green here. Then I have a whole bunch of colors from Gamelan called radiant colors. So from radiant green, radiant purple, radiant blue. Oh, this is a king's blue. Okay, then radiant turquoise. Okay, so that's basically follow this color wheel. Okay, on this side, then is my neutrals. I have titanium white, and this one is the neutral gray I use is Portland gray deep. And then ivory black and transparent red outside. So this one is manage my value, and this give me all the hues for the color. Okay, so I'm going to use this example. So like here, this area, I'm going to paint. So, for instance, I'm going to first thing, so the black part is actually pretty easy. So first I'm going to put some dark here. So I will click on this part, any kind of dark area. So pretty much they just tell me, this is black. 0, 0, 0 means just the black. I can maybe just use this one, but based on my experience, I will put a little bit of warm color into the black area. So let's start to do that. So all of this will tell me it is right in the center. It is neutral, absolutely. There's no hue around it. And also this one is the value is a very low value. Also, you see I have a value bar here, so I can compare with all of this color. So let's put it, first they put some black here. Okay, so I'm going to use my palette knife. So let's, okay, I'm going to get some black here. Okay, and also I'm going to add a little red outside, so make it a little warmer. So usually the dark is dark, you want it warm. And when light, this is like a sunny day, lots of blue skies, it will get lots of the light area cooler, but the dark area still warmer. Okay, so I'm going to go to put it here. Okay, so very quickly, you know, this is the painting I painted for several days now, so it is already dry, and you can of course oil it out, but I'm just going to paint directly on top of it.
So Qiang, what was the underpainting, and it looks like it was also a black or a dark gray?
The underpainting, I was using pretty much the same when I do the black and white version. So after that, I start to block in. So in the block in part, so I start to using the app to mixing this color, mixing this color, mixing this color, and other colors. So then I will start to put them
so
in.
you did a black and white underpainting of the whole thing first.
Right,
painting.
yeah. That's what I started on value map first. Then second one, then you'll do the block in. And after the color block in, I start to working on the details, you know, like the figures or the realistic part. Okay, so now I'm just very quickly, I will put some kind of make the value closer to it. Okay. So like that. Okay, now let's do a color. You do see not very many colors. For instance, like the reflections here. So I want to know what color that one is. So I will move my cursor to that area, then I click on it. So that was showing on the screen. Also, that's the value for the hue is 101, and the number for the chroma is 36, and the value is 22. So I know the value is about that. Also, you can see two color swatches here. This is a gray. This is a only value. This one with the hue and chroma. Also, on the color wheel, you can see this. It is kind of in the green family, you know, in the green family, and then the chroma is not very high. So this gave me some sort of a suggestion that it will be a dark green. Okay, so how do I mix that color? So my strategy is a three steps. Okay, so first thing, you'll get the value correct. You don't need to worry about color or saturation or chroma. Just get the value right. Okay, so I can see that value is pretty much maybe number three here. So I will go ahead to do that. Okay, so I will pick up some of the gray color. Okay, like the Portland gray. Okay. So this is probably too light. Actually, I could compare to here. You see, I overlapping, you know, I use by this. So overlapping, you see that a little bit lighter, right? So that means the value need to be darker than this. So I will start to add some of the dark here to it. So this is just try to get the value correct. Okay, so then I will overlapping again. So now you see much better. I don't tell the difference in the value wise. You know, I put a overlapping on the gray swatch. You can see the value pretty much match. Okay, so then I will start to go to see. Okay, this is a green family. Okay, it's found, you know, this location. So then on my palette. So pretty much here. So either Viridian you can add or sap green you can add. You can just try one of them. And let me do some Viridian here, maybe. I'll put it here. So it started getting darker again. So I'll add a little bit more. So this is the second step. So means first you match the value. Then you match the hue. Okay, maybe a little bit too overlapping. Oh, it's too blue. So maybe I'll add in some of the sap grade here. Okay. So this will be the color pretty close to that. Okay, then the number 3 step, you start to judge your chroma. So you're overlapping to it, you see, is it too dull? Is it too vibrant? It looks pretty good to me. But sometimes if you have some color like this color or like some color maybe more saturated, then you'll have to add in more green to make, if I have a green tree for someone. So maybe I will add more green. Okay, so this one, it is pretty close, the color. So then I will start to overlap in here. Also, sometimes you adjust because this is already painting exists here, already putting something here. So you can judge maybe this is a little too dark. So compared to that, okay, maybe I'll slightly adjusting to make the value slightly lighter. Okay, so this is demonstrating the strategy, the steps. You know, a mixing color can be any method, but I'll pick up a brush. Okay, I will like to do is to kind of systematically do that. You know, for beginner painters. So sometimes we'll doodle around. Okay, we'll put a color here, put a color there, and then now right. Okay, we start to add more, adjusting on the painting very quickly. The painting tend to pile the mud. Okay, so this way, I feel I have more control. So you know, 3 steps. First thing, value. You use the gray and blacks here. And then second one, you find your hue. Then you match the hue. So after you match the hue, number 3, you adjust the chroma. Okay, so that's basically strategy and use, you know.
So Qiang, somebody is asking, did you oil down your canvas before you started painting on it again?
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. For instance, a small area like this, I can just directly put the dark paint on top. So if you already feel satisfied, for instance, here, this area, you already painted, you said, I don't want to touch it anymore, but they look a little dry, a little dull, that area, I oil it out. So, but if I know I'm going to do this, I like to paint directly from colors here. So it's optional. You can do either oil out or you paint right on top.
Okay, another question for you. Some people might say, well, you know, photographs lie because they tend to blow out the sky. They tend to make the shadows darker than they are. So if you're copying a photograph, aren't you going to lose some of that life you would get?
Definitely. So that's a kind of compromise. So sometimes you might want to take multiple photos so that you can reference to. So like I am a plein air painter, so I like to paint outside a lot. You know, photograph never replace the real thing. So you can see this photo. You know, the dark part is maybe way too dark. The light part maybe way too light. So this way is not ideal. But sometimes that's the only option you have. You know, I took that picture from Venice. I only been there for a day. So I'm not able to do a plein air there. So the photograph will be the option. For beginner painters, I do recommend you will try your best painting from life, and then if there's no option, then you can paint from photo. Okay, so I'm not against from photo, but I still really recommend painting from life more. So like today, I'm working in my studio. I don't have much of an option, so then I will use this photo. But you know, also depends on what kind of a level you want this art to reach. You can copy most of the information from the photo, then you can design your art and to exaggerating or some drama you put it on. There's a lots of options, but talking about the fundamental things, at least you'll be able to copy correct. So if you be able to copy correct, you achieve the foundation. And if you lay solid foundation, you can, to do whatever design on top of it. Okay, so now for the color, for instance, this gray here, and that gray. So I'm going to do another one. So I will click on this one. Okay, so you'll see the gray part and the part. You may see that pretty close. This is actually very, very close. So pretty much neutral gray. But if you go to the detail, you see that number 0 means red. So it is a little bit red in this part. Okay, I'm going to mix that color. Okay, so I will have some of the gray. First, oops, too much green. First thing, match the value. Okay, I pick up some of the gray here, but this gray, way too dark. So you put some white. Okay, so you start to.
One thing I'm curious about too, Qiang, is that if you would explain why you added the radiant colors and how you use those.
Well, yeah, the radiant color happen to be in value. They're on the higher part, closer to white, and most of the tube colors, cadmium, cobalt, they're pretty much in the middle value range. So if you, for instance, if you have some color very, very bright, and you have to add a lot of white to bring the value up. So that time, when you add in white, your saturation, your chroma goes down.
Right, you get
then,
chalky.
Yeah, you get chalky. You lose the chroma. So, but most of the radiant colors here, they're pretty high chroma, but also in the much lighter value. So this way, their value is not far away from the lighter paint, lighter color here. So instead of adding this color very dark, you add tons of white. So you already bleach out the color. So that's why the radiant color look more vibrant than you're adding some of these colors. Okay, so now this one is actually I can do that. So now you can see that pretty close to match the value. Okay, then I will add a little purple. Actually, this time you can add a little bit, because this is more closer to the higher value. Okay, so I might use this one to do that part. So that's maybe, so also you not only judge here, you also judge here. So this is a little too light. So maybe I will now I can add a little darker here. So, okay, so this will be the purple part. Well, another thing I maybe want to talk about, so how do you arrange your color on the palette? Lots of people kind of go all over the place, but I like to you arrange by value. So you'll be on this side, on the left-hand side, you use dark. So gradually getting middle value, kind of lighter middle value, and a light. So this way, your color will be more organized. Okay. So now I can do some experiments, so I can touch it. So see that, I think that's pretty good. Maybe too purple. If it's too purple, I will start to adding some of the gray here this is the number 3 stage to change the chroma, to tone it down a little more. Okay. So even if it's too small, I can make it bigger. I already talked about you can zoom in, you can zoom out. Also, you can use your 2 fingers you know, see like this, then you can really see the detail part. By the way, this app so far is on my website, but I want to announce today the Android version of this app is available now. You can download if you're using a Google phone or Google Pad. You'll be able to download now. You just the link of download is also on the same web page, so you can do that. And Guoliang and Danbing, they're still developing the iOS, the Apple version. I hope very soon we will have them on the Apple machine. Okay, so this will be here. Okay, so also I start to see some of the more saturated colors here. So I'm okay. A whole bunch of the figures here. So now, actually, they're pretty colorful. Maybe I'll do this.
Yeah.
You see better? Yeah.
Yeah,
so now you
helpful.
see that there's a very rich color there. So you can start to develop some of the color there. Okay. Same token, you know, you go ahead to you know, maybe this guy. Okay, so I want to check what color that one is. So that will be the blue. See that will be the blue area. Look like in the cobalt area. So I can use the cobalt with the gray. You know, they're not pure cobalt. They're kind of you know, still dark. Okay, the same way, we want to check the value first. So first thing, I pick up some gray, so I will go there. So I see definitely I'm too light, so I will go a little bit black. Okay. Okay, see, I do receive a comment about this app. You know, some people do not say, why bother? We could use Photoshop. You know, all of this is already in the Photoshop. Why you do that? I think I have two reasons. Okay, the first reason is, so as the painter, so I can reorganize the information for, you know, specifically for painters instead of so many unused functions. So I concentrate the most useful. For instance, I put the gray, the value information next to the color part. You can directly see the color, see the value with the color. In the meantime, the showing all the numbers. If you want to do the mathematics or like so, you can really understand exactly what the color is. You know, if you okay, so maybe you really do not know how do I define all these numbers. This part, you know, I have an online course about color theory. You can go to my website, and you're welcome to take my rigorous color theory class. Then you understand the mathematics, or understand what is exactly behind all of this. Okay, so the reason I'm doing this from here is color. There's two characteristics. There's absolute color, there's a relative color. Most of the
Can you repeat that again? I had a hard time
there are
understanding.
two parts, absolute color, relative color. Okay, absolute means this color you can measure. You use an instrument to measure that color, they always give you the same number. Okay, same hue, same chroma, same value. However, if you put this color into the context surrounding with other colors, our perception of that color will change. So that's called the relativity of the color. So it means we see the relative color. Usually when we were PleinAir, when we're painting from a photo, relative colors in the way, you know, you don't see color correctly. For instance, this one, I see pretty light here relative to the dark. But here, actually, they're pretty dark. So this absolute, so means I get rid of the noise, the influence from the relative color, single out absolutely. So then you can match the color accurately. So this is for maybe some advanced painters, and I love the relativity. That's pretty much the painting doing. We adjust the temperature, we change, we do the value. But for beginners, they say, well, first thing I really know what color that is. So if I see here, maybe I'll miss the color too light. But when you come here, wow, I just start to realize that color is very dark. So then you can have the number scales really guide you to get that color accurately.
Does it matter if your monitor has been calibrated or not?
I usually, yes, it is a matter. I think now the modern technology develops so advanced now, and I feel most of the color monitors are good enough. I'm using an Apple
Air.
MacBook Air. Okay, so that color really gave me pretty good rendition. It's pretty vibrant. I like it. But in comparison, recently I bought a pad from Walmart. I spent $80 on that. That one works, but the color is a little bit compromised. But maybe another thing, maybe a tip for you is before you use the reference, you want to change the brightness. The brightness of the monitor can be different. Sometimes the brightness is too bright, you will not get the color correctly. So I usually do, I will put some sort of a white. Okay, let me put this in white here. Okay, so I can compare this white and this white. Okay, so this white, make sure they're very similar. Okay, if it's not similar, I need to adjust the brightness. So maybe I'll make it a little darker. So maybe that's too dark now. So, okay, make sure this is white. So this white is reflecting from the light, from my light. Okay, and then this white is from the back of the illumination. So this is two different kind of optics here. So yeah, just make sure you have this match. Then you're pretty much good to go. Okay.
Okay, so you've got about 8 or 10 minutes left.
Yeah, basically, the idea is here. The important thing is I'm talking around. I don't have to finish that. But the important thing is if you want to learn something today, in a nutshell, you understand the 3 steps of a mixing color. Value first, hue second, then chroma. So it's just like you want to go somewhere. Somebody says, oh, you need to follow the road, turn left, then go to the end of the road, then turn right again. So you need to go step by step. So that's right. So this way, avoid lots of this, dangling or vibrating, or so until you get color correct. So now I have this value pretty much there. So I got the value maybe a little bit dark. Actually, I could go directly to the blue to make that. I actually cobalt. So I forgot cobalt. So now I start to adding some of that color here. Okay, so this gray, okay, so kind of closer to this gray, but it's more purple. So after you've been painting for a while and utilize this, you start to kind of pretty much quickly, you can figure out what color that should be. So also maybe some of the red color see now I start to reference to all of this. So I start to go, more intuitive. So the reason I'm kind of emphasizing this much is like, to show you the strategy. After you know the strategy, you should be able to do that pretty easily. So after the pandemic start, so I start to kind of like track at home. And then I start to think about what should I do. I'm not able to teach workshops for a while. Okay, so then I will start to, what should I do? So I start deciding that I'm going to do some research. So I start to figure out, working on the color theory, and then actually I learned quite a bit. So based on the research and the result, and work with Guolian and Deming to figure out what the app. So you can give this app a try, then kind of figure out what is what is useful, it is useful or not. I'll give you feedback. So based on your feedback, we're going to continue to develop this approach. So okay, so now you can see I'm start to painting more intuitively, to getting the colors there. So I feel this couple of months I'm going backwards. People consider, okay, you develop from beginning, then you go intermediate, then you come to the advanced painters. So I'm going back. I'm from an advanced painter. I try to evaluate my foundation, try to see which part of the foundation is shaking or cracking. I need to fit it up. So kind of going through a search process. Now I'm going back. So I'll figure out lots of things. In the future, if you have more time, then maybe I will come back and talk with Eric again. And I will share lots of information I have rediscovered. So I learned quite a bit. So I hope I can develop more apps and help you more. And so I hope can expedite or accelerate the progress for beginner painters. So you'll be very quickly from just beginning and intermediate, much quicker instead of 7 years of dangling and not really have a major progress. So that's pretty much what I have. Of course I can keep on doing this, but basically give you the idea. So I think I'm going to stop here. So if you have questions or something.
If there's any questions, put them into the comments, everybody. Okay. Well, Qiang, thank you so much. Maybe we can get you on camera again. Is there a way to do that real quickly?
Sure. Okay. So let me move the camera.
All right. Terrific. Thank you. There he is.
Okay.
There he is.
Okay, let me.
Yeah. So okay, yeah, thank you for this, and Qiang has a very scientific mind, and as a result, he's applied his scientific mind to his artistic mind and blended them with this app. It's a wonderful app, and to reiterate what he said, Android is out now, Apple is coming, but you can use it on his website now, and his website is. Hang on a second, I'll pull it up here. The app is at qh-art.com and apps. And there's also, if you just go to his website, qh.art.com, you'll find his color video and his other videos there. We did not produce them, but he did, and they're really good, and you should get them. So Qiang is a very good friend. I support him fully, and he's been part of my Wednesday night paint group for, 8 or 9 years.
Yeah, after you're coming back, we may be getting together. We'll have to be social distancing, so that's an inconvenience.
Well, there's not a lot of social distancing in my little studio, but we'll paint together. I'll be back there soon. And
maybe do PleinAir.
Yeah, we can do PleinAir, absolutely. So thank you guys for, see if there's any more questions in here. Everybody's very fascinated by it, so really appreciate this. This is very giving of you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Okay, so make sure you go to his website, qh-art.com. Also, I just want to reiterate what he said, is that you focus on you basically are doing 3 piles of paint. So one is hue, one is value, and one is chroma. Is that right? Or
Yeah,
you start
basically
with
the
value.
three steps. You start with value because the color can be wrong, but if you match the value correctly, your painting 80% works. You know,
Yeah.
people talking about value made all the work and color have the credit. But if you follow this strategy, you get a value first. So sometimes I need to correct my drawing. You know, for instance, you know, all the figures you see, it need lots of drawing corrections. But if I say, okay, I'll concentrate on proportions, anatomy, the details, I maybe just black and white. I will use a little gray, little black, little white. I will make a value drawing, value painting. And after that, I got all my drawing fixed. Then I will put on top, you know, usually waiting for the painting to dry, especially for the studio painting. You have the time, then you're waiting for the second day, the painting dry to touch it. Then you put another layer to correct the hue and to correct the chrome. Okay. So then you'll still be able to achieve good results.
All right. Well, Qiang, I wish we had more time. I'd love to see some of your paintings. I know people would love to see your studio space. What I know we haven't prepared for that, and we've got to hop off before YouTube cuts us off. So thank you again for being here, and maybe I'll see you in Austin here in a couple of weeks.
All right, yeah.
We have to escape here before winter hits. Hopefully it won't hit too soon.
We get a couple of cool days here too, so it should be much bearable now.
Yeah. Yeah, well, right now I've got a jacket on, and it's about 50 degrees, and so it's nice and
about
cool
80, maybe 90 degrees.
Ah, okay. Well, that's not so bad. All right, folks, that was Qiang Huang, and remember, it's qh-art.com, and make sure you visit there and get his app. I should mention that this is all just, we're doing this to help people. We're not asking for any money for this. We're just promoting people and promoting what they've got, because we know we're all struggling. We're all trying to figure out how to make a living. We're all trying, you know, Qiang does normally 40 in-person workshops a year and hasn't been able to do any. So give him your support. Go to his website, buy some paintings, buy his videos, do something, because that's something we want to do to help everybody. And I want to remind you guys of a couple of things. First off, we have the oh, I didn't tell you today's apron. Today's prize will be a PleinAir magazine apron. So when you make comments, tell us where you're from, anywhere in the world. We'll if you're the right winner, we would grab you. You're going to get the PleinAir magazine apron, and so that will be today's gift. A reminder that Realism Live, sign up before the end of the month, and you will get a $200 discount. This is going to be massive. It's going to be a huge thing. Everybody's signing up, and we've got some of the world's best artists together. It is monumental, really monumental, and for really about a tenth of what you would pay to go to an in-person event. By the time you spend all your airfare and hotel and rental car and all that, you're saving all that. You can watch at home. If you can't make the dates, you can watch the replays. There's different levels of replays. People told us after PleinAir Live that, you know, they're watching the replays second, third, fourth time around, because they're getting so much out of them. And somebody said to me, you know, this is like an art school education. This is like in 1 week I got the equivalent of what I got in art school in a full year, or full 4 years, I think. So I don't know if that's true, but I mean, she meant that, and so that was kind of nice to hear. Anyway, get signed up for Realism Live. Get your entries into PleinAir Salon before the end of the month at pleinairsalon.com. Also, the Artist and Selfie competition is going to come to an end here soon, and we're going to be doing the awards during Realism Live. PleinAir Salon, in 2 weeks, we're going to do the awards online, and so you want to make sure that you sign up for that. And we're going to put out an email so you can sign up, and it's free to attend, but you want to be able to watch. It'll be kind of fun to watch us give away money, and maybe you're the one that wins it. That would be nice. So get your entries in. Also, follow me, Eric Rhoads, on Instagram, Facebook, etc. Somebody was giving me grief that they can't follow me on Facebook because I'm not a public page. You can follow me on Eric Rhoads, but my personal page is just jammed. You can follow it. I just can't follow you back. And so I apologize for that. But you can follow on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, etc. All right, I'm not on TikTok yet, but my kids tell me I should be. Well, I thank you for being here today. It's Sunday, and it's day number 172. I'm Eric Rhoads, publisher of Fine Arts Connoisseur and PleinAir magazine. And today, I don't know what we're doing. We're going to have a good time. Thank